Hey everybody, John from IPT. Today's video is going to be a little different than the norm. We're talking about AB60 valve bodies. It's been a source of tremendous frustration for me, and I'm sure maybe a lot of you guys. They're listed on eBay as AB60 valve bodies. There's pictures of them. Sometimes the picture does not match what you're getting. All right, so this is the main thing that differentiates an AB60 valve body. Here we have two temperature sensors. So in the car, they exist like that. All right, so this is your AB60, your Toyota Tundra from 2007 to 2021. When you buy these things from eBay, they're selling this style valve body, which is one temperature sensor, and you could see this other hole is cast shut. So this is for a vehicle that uses one sensor. So the only thing I've seen that in is some Lexus vehicles with an A760 or A761, not a Tundra with an AB60. And again, if you look at these ads, they have pictures showing this style. There'll clearly be two sensor holes in the picture. And there's even been cases where I emailed the seller and said, hey, you know, is this a two sensor style as shown in your listing? And sometimes they say yes. And when you get it, it's wrong. And sometimes they're honest and they say no. I've just had a guy that said no, and then I saw that he changed the picture in his listing. Like, these guys know they're scamming. And I hate to say it, but these things are all coming from China. How they get AB60 and Toyota valve bodies in China, I'm not really sure. This one here claims to be from Chino, California, according to their label and according to the eBay listing. But as you can see, this is really the label. All right, this one's even worse. It's got this manual lever linkage that is very different than things you see. And this is the icing on the cake here. These guys put casting numbers in their ads, and when you get the valve body, the casting numbers ground off, right, on both sides. So these guys know they're scamming, and it's really frustrating. You know, we do a lot of these valve bodies, and I like to keep cores so I could just send valve bodies out on an exchange basis. But on that note, let's look at casting numbers. And keep in mind, the casting numbers don't necessarily mean everything, because it could have the right casting number and still be wrong. But these are 8870. This one's an 8870. This valve body is a legit US build 5.7 Tundra. And that's an 89010. And the separator plate is going to have an L01 on it. And that doesn't mean that other stuff might not work, but the big thing is that the two sensor versus the one sensor. And I kind of don't get it. If you go through, I don't know, 50 or 60 valve bodies on eBay, however many are there, most of the pictures are going to look like this. You'll see the sensor hole is closed off. But also, when you click on a picture and you see it's got two sensor holes, that might not be what they're sending you. So this is a giant scam, and I really, I'm going to avoid getting any kind of valve body from eBay, and I recommend that you guys do the same. I know it's tempting, and it's impossible to find them in most other places. I've been calling all kinds of hard parts places, and nobody has these things. So the best I could do is try and accumulate as many as possible and hope that people send their cores back to me as quickly as possible. Because when somebody calls, I like to say, hey, I have a valve body, I could send it to you, but this is one of the reasons why I run out of cores. So you know, I apologize to you guys, but we are trying. That said, I'm going to attach some of the pictures of the listings and show you what I'm talking about. And I'm also going to attach a conversation I had with one of the sellers. It was actually for this valve body. I told them that, hey, you guys sent me the wrong thing. And not only that, you ground off the casting numbers. You guys knew you were sending me the wrong thing. And they gave me a whole bunch of nonsense that they had to contact their vendor. And this is going on for days and days and days. And I finally had to get eBay involved and put in a dispute. So let's see what's going to happen. But the last message was the guy offered me a 5% refund, which obviously is pretty unacceptable. You know, this thing just needs to be sent back, and I really should get a full refund, including the shipping. They sent me the wrong part. It's pretty plain and simple. But anyway, guys, be careful with these things if you're buying them. I guess is the best advice I could give you. And if you have a Tundra and you maybe have the thing in the car and you don't know what it looks like, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have 2 sensor holes and 2 sensors. You know, anything else is not going to work. So buyer beware. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the listing for these 2 valve bodies. I ordered 2 from the same seller. And I'm going to put up the listing for this other one, as well as the messages back and forth with the seller. So maybe you guys will get an idea of what you're going to be dealing with if you try and get one of these things. And again, I don't know how these valve bodies are coming from China. My imagination tells me there's not a lot of Tundras driving around on the streets of China. So whether they're shipping whole vehicles over there to get parted out or they're shipping transmissions over there, I'm not really sure. But if you find a valve body, I would recommend using a US seller. But other than that, you got to be really careful. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.